Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Crypto Night Show. Your host Superman in the house. Well, we have a mega stream today. I mean, it's truly today is a pivotal day for the crypto markets. It really is insane. So I hope you guys enjoyed the show. We're going to break it all down. We had obviously the PPI data. This is a leading indicator for inflation. It's basically inflation at the factory gate. So we've had that. It's really been favorable. So we're going to talk about that coming up. We're going to be talking about DTCC. This is the game changer. This is a pivotal moment in crypto history. We're going to talk about that, give you a full update. Not sure if you've seen much about that, but that is a juggernaut happening in crypto today. And then we're going to get into Richard Hart has been pretty vocal. And of course, looking for the Pulsechain update and RPC nodes. We're going to check that out. So nice to see Richard on the move there. We also saw some, looks like dry powder pump old Pulsechain. Libby Swap's been talking about that today, and we saw a really nice move and lose a zero for a brief time. Now, will we actually start to move up towards that that spike that often can happen? So just like we see it happen to the downside, we can see it happen to the upside. Just when people were about to call a new low, some people were saying just a double bottom on Pulse, but potentially a breakdown to a new low. We get the dry powder and the pump and the chart. So is that enough to start hitting us up? And very exciting. As you guys know, funnily enough, it hit the target that I was talking about, basically 4 zeros, 1200. So we'll see whether we head back up to that, whether that's going to drive that behavior. So interesting times. All right, so we've got a lot to talk about. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. Don't forget to get in the comment section as well. We are started about an hour earlier today, just because I wanted to get started a little bit earlier, have a bit more time later in the day, and we've got quite a bit to talk about. So hope you guys enjoy the content. Don't forget to subscribe on the way in. And of course, we're live on YouTube, 3 YouTube channels, and we're also live on X. So it's 4 different channels that we're on. And don't forget to smash the follow. If you are on X and you're loving the content, we're covering Bitcoin, Ethereum, the general crypto market, stock market, and Pulsechain. We're pretty much doing it all. And you love that, so smash the repost button on the show there. That helps a lot. I'm just going to pin it to the top of the X profile, so you can share that around. So smash that repost button, and let's get going. All right, so let's jump into the stock market news. Obviously, we've had a really good run this week with the PPI, CPI, I should say, one of the 2 major inflation indices, although I'm not so sure. We'll see whether those 2 remain after Chairman Wash does his review. That'll be interesting. He's doing a review on the balance sheet in particular, on the data that's going to be used. And so we may see him, I don't know, we may see him pivot to a trim data like Chicago or true inflation and have more real-time inflation rates. That makes a lot more sense to me. So hopefully we get a significant restructure in the old Fed moving forward. Hey, good to see Mikey in the house. Hey, gang, great to see you. Definitely like and share and smash that repost button as well. Crypto Night Show is the largest Pulsechain influencer doing daily shows. Very specific there. And, we're loving it. We're loving it. We, through bear market or bull market over the last 6 years, stream. And, I hope you guys enjoying the content as well. We're sharing the journey, as I always say. And we're also looking at everything else so that we don't get caught out by a certain movement. So very cool. Let's get into it. And let's have a look at the stock market today. So stocks end higher as the PPI, that's a producer's price index. Basically, like farm or warehouse prices. It's a leading indicator for retail prices, CPI and CPE. And of course, we've got the Mag 7 gains offset slides in the chip makers. Iran tensions are still there, right? So that's sort of a headline title here. The Dow Jones did go up 0.3%, 150 points to 52,658. We're going to look at our little chart here in the top right there. You can see we're just off the all-time highs, pretty much up near there though. And we got the S&P 500 up 0.4%, 29 points to 7,572. We're just off all-time highs back here in 2nd of June. And we got the NASDAQ with all the tech companies in it is up 0.6%, 162 points to 26,269. And you can see we're also just off the highs there around the 2nd of June. All right, so really good results in the stock market overnight. And that's despite the fact that Trump and CENTCOM there is bombing. run pretty hard. It looks like they're going to go very, very hard indeed moving forward, which is great to see. I'm, a big fan of that. We got the dollar there is just down slightly, 100.3, and we've got the risk on factor because the VIX volatile index down 5%, almost 0.8% of 1 point, sorry, and we're down at 15.67. As you guys know, if we look at the last year, that really is risk on territory. So everything is looking good, guys. Hexavator says Pulsechain pulse gains. We'll be pumping. Yeah, we'll talk about that soon. We're coming up with Pulsechain later on. All right, so that's where we are with the market. So we've got risk on. The oil price is obviously elevated with the Strait of Hormuz. We've got West Texas up just slightly, 0.6%, 50 cents to $80. So we're slightly up there. You can see we're getting a bit of a risk premium in there for the oil, but it's still not, still not $100, still not $110. So we'll keep watching that. But I think the market's slightly a bit more used to it, and also a number of other avenues for oil supply has been made, right? So it's going through pipelines through the UAE and Saudi Arabia. There's a lot of oil now going through the United States into Texas. So there is a lot of dampening of this effect, let's say. But we'll keep watching out for that risk premium. But certainly off the highs, but certainly not down near the lows again. Now, interesting enough, in the PPI, we did see that energy prices at the pump have come down, and so that's one of the key factors driving down the PPI data. So one of the major contributors there. So we are starting to see, that abatement play into lower inflation, particularly what they call headline inflation. We've got gold at the moment. We've got Brent oil, sorry, I should say, is down a third of percent, 25 cents to $85.37. We've got gold at the moment up a third of percent, $14 to $4,065. Really holding on to that $4,000 level, because if it breaks that, it's probably all going all the way down to maybe 37, and then probably 37, around $3,700 there. Silver is up 1%, 58 cents at $58. Holding on is silver because this was look at horizontally in that chart from 3/4 of a year ago, back in December 25 till now, really on the pre-fall level. Really got to hold on to this level here. The next level down would be $53. So it's another $5 down from here. So it's quite significant. Copper, obviously we're bullish about copper. Copper has continued to rally all over the year there. We see no abatement to that with all the modern technology required for intelligence age, AI, and robotics and everything else coming up. It's pretty much in it all, right? Data centers, batteries, you name it, power systems, copper's greatly need there. I don't know if you're familiar, but copper's made with 3 different stages. Basically, have to mine it, and then they have to process it, and then they have to refine it, right? So 3 big plants are required to make copper. So it's not cheap to make, and it's currently worth $6.38. So there we go. All right, so that's where we are with the old copper. Looking at the markets, of course, we got into earnings season as well. We've got so many things happening right now in the markets. It's really is crazy. We've got earnings season, and boy, is earnings season going well. The banks are making a mint of money, guys, a mint of money. They always seem to win, don't they? And of course, we're in crypto and blockchain. We're trying to disintermediate them as much as we can. Obviously, there's a limit to that. It's going to be interesting to see that play out. Now, with stablecoins, of course, interesting. We saw in the Senate committee hearing, Wash just had a hearing, and we heard, stablecoins. The banks were fear mongering with the Genius Act and stablecoins, saying, of course, that deposits would go down. Well, deposits have been going up. Banks have been making a killing, and so that hasn't been a problem. Now, further down the line, if blockchain is successful into doing at least partial disintermediation, that would be very successful. But you got to remember, the reason why banks are held up is some reason because they think that long history is good, and of course there's also this big lobbying that goes on, and of course money is power, and they're obviously at scale, and also obviously they've got established systems right in play. So they've got a lot of the centralization, but the problem is there's a lot of power abuse between the banks and government politicians, and all in a bit of cahoots, right? So banks do act in many regards not only just as a quasi regulator, implementing regulations, but also in terms of now they've moved out of even a neutral position like that into politics, right? So they're actually now typically pushing left-wing politics. So you just can't win with these. They price gouge. They harass people with regulations. They are taking all the yield off the depositors, right? So they're extracting all that value and paying very low to the depositors. And then they're also, are pushing through politics now. I mean, banks get worse and worse and worse as we go every decade, and it's just a new layer of badness there. So that's why we like crypto and blockchain. It is freedom, DeFi. It's responsibility, but we get rid of all those problems, right? We don't have to put up with any of those problems that they have there. All right, so that's kind of where we're at. The banks. So banks are creaming it at the moment with the profit returns. Obviously, AI is doing well as well. Chip makers obviously just shading off a little bit. Obviously, US inflation there. So we had the headline producers inflation come out. It fell 0.3% month to month in June, while the core PPI rose 0.2% month to month. Economists had expected a flat reading for the headline number and a 0.3% rise for the core. So those are both under expectations. So beautiful there. And like I said, the key drivers actually were fuel at the pump, price of pump, gas, and so that was cool. Major key catalyst there. And May headline PPI had risen to 0.6 and core 0.1. So that's really good to see that coming down. On a yearly basis, the headline PPI ticked up 5.5% and core advanced 4.7%, lower than consensus figures of 6.2 and 5.2. So both bullish there, respectively. And remember, it's a lead indicator for inflation. So presumably, next month's inflation could be much lower as well. Obviously, we're getting a little bit of a spike back in the oil price that would feed downstream retail prices at the pump. But it may not last that long. We see it's certainly dampened down from not going back to $100. And May headline PPI had advanced 0.6% and core 4.6%. So the moderation in the headline PPI was driven by the biggest 1 month decline in the index for final demand goods since July. The later was helped by a 6.4% month-to-month drop in prices for final demand energy goods. So that's kind of leading into what I'm talking about. And of course, the largest monthly fall since December 2022. US energy price pressures were widely expected to have eased in June, coming into the PPI and Tuesday's Consumer Price Index reports after global oil prices slumped. But inflation dynamics have rapidly shifted this month amid the biggest escalation tensions, of course, between US and Iran there. So we'll see whether that picks up a little bit. But like I say, it's much more modest than $100, $110 at the moment. So there we go. So the June data gives the Fed some breathing room in terms of not having to immediately hike interest rates. So that's pretty cool. It's basically moved down to, I think, Polymarket's at 10%, and the Fed watch is down at 10%. So 8 to 10% chance now of a rate rise in the July meeting, which is about 2 weeks away. And of course, that means Chairman Walsh has got a lot less pressure on him around interest rate rises there that some people are calling for, right? So cool stuff. So let's see where we head there. So we'll probably see rates hold steady. And like I said, I think we may end up moving more dovish towards the election at the end of the year. So keep a lookout for that. And that's bullish. That's all risk on, right? Lower interest rates mean basically more risk taking to capture higher yields elsewhere, right? Which is bullish for crypto. Hey, we've got Duke of Boost in house. Cheers, everybody. Chin chin. Yeah, great day today. Today is a big day. I'm going to break it all down today on the show. All right, so kind of cool. Obviously, we've got the tensions in Iran. Obviously, there's going to be quite a lot of big attacks there going on. Trump's also threatened to take out power plants. I don't see this as a real threat. I mean, he could take out one of them just as just to try and substantiate this claim. But of course, the Iranian people, 80 to 90% of them are against the regime. You take out power plants, you're going to put them into the darkness there, and that shuts down obviously residential comfortability as well as all sorts of things, water systems, hospitals in particular. Obviously, hospitals have backup generators, but they only last a while. Although they've got plenty of oil there, but if you can't do the pumps and everything else, all the oil systems start shutting down, and everything else. Any idea to try and get nuclear stuff moving also shuts down. So it does get a lot harder. You got to truck, oil and everything else, which they can do, but it just is a massive, massive shutdown the whole economy, and has lots of implications on the civilian population. So I really don't see him doing that at large scale. Maybe he might take one out just to give them a show. Obviously, the ICC and the UN and all that, who are all compromised entities, will jump up and down about it. And but I think that's I just don't see that happening on scale. Now, the bridges is a different story. He could take out a lot of bridges, particularly ones that potentially are being supplied from other countries like China, that are running through bridges. And so, definitely could do that. But power systems is definitely a civilian implication there. But in any case, they can take out, I think they've got still about 25% of their offensive targets still in place for the RRGC. So the CENTCOM could take out all those, which is probably what they're doing right now, right? Also taking a lot of these stuff in the Strait of Hormuz, particularly using quite a bit of new technology, including drone boats. I don't know if you saw a submarine get blown up the other yesterday, I think it was. So still doing quite a few advancements there to dominate the skies. Now, the US is also bringing in a lot of Anduril drone systems. These are automated systems, so they're kind of really low cost, both on the ocean and in the air, and no doubt on the land at some stage. And so they can actually get into these really difficult spots in Iran, particularly in the mountains, which are running along that strait. And these things, it's really getting futuristic, because these things can sort of go and hunt and destroy pretty much for ages. So it's making Iran, if they're hiding, a lot of military stuff in the mountains and this and that, they're going to get caught more and more and more. And as time goes on, the Americans are getting a better underlay of the map and where potentially some of these, rocket tunnel cities are and everything else that they haven't already blown up. So the more time goes on, actually, the more pressure it is on the Iranians there. And of course, the Iranians also facing a threat from their own people, right? So more insurgency groups forming. So we're watching all this sort of play out. But I think anyone would realize that any deal that would be done is going to be, betrayed by the Iranians if the Iranian regime controls, right? Because they're wanting to bring on the end of the world, right? So their Shia apocalyptic worldview, death to America, death to the world kind of thing, enslave the world. And of course, the rest of the Middle East countries also, who are mostly Sunni Muslims, also have been having harassment from them in the Middle East for a long time. And of course, most of the world's terrorism has been funded from Iran. So there's a lot of wins here going on right now, and it looks like the markets are not too distraught about it at the stage. All right, so that's kind of where we are with the markets there. So we're going to keep a lookout for that. All right, so let's jump into the crypto markets. That's what we had for the stock market. So pretty green day. Let's have a look at the crypto market. I'm just going to refresh here. I'll get the latest and greatest. Well, crypto is actually down 0.2% on the 24-hour. We're at 2.311 trillion. So we have gone up over the last few days, so at least 2 days. Bitcoin at the moment is at 64,500. And there is, if you look at the charts with the Bitcoin price, there is a lot of resistance at 65K. A lot of sell walls. But we did punch through that a little bit overnight, but obviously been pushed back a little bit on profit taking. We're down 0.4% on Bitcoin right now, up 4% for the week though. So that's the positivity there. Ethereum is doing really well. It's up 1.5% today, and up 10% for the week. It's at $1,912. Really looking good, guys. So we've blown through a few little resistance levels there, back up to the 2,000 almost. So we almost go back to, we'll look at that in the ETH chart. But Ethereum is really starting to take off, and I think that ETH to BTC ratio starting to separate. Just all things equal, I think this Ethereum is so much more superior for value upside, and so we're going to be watching that play out, I think, this year. And we've got a big news today around that, supporting that. We've got BNB at the moment down 0.3% at $578, up 2.1% for the week. We've got XRP up 0.2%, 2.1% for the week at $1.11. Solana down 0.7% for the day and the week, so basically the same. $76.76 for Solana. Tron down 0.4%, 1.2% for the week at 32.4 cents. And then we've got, we're going to ignore Whitebit there. I don't know why it keeps showing up on my screen like this, but we've got Hyperliquid there, up 2.1%, down 1.2% for the week at $66.42. But keep a lookout for Hyperliquid, guys. I think it's going to be pretty interesting moving forward there. All right, so let's have a look at the top movers in the top 100, as we always do. We look at the top 5, and we've got APX taking number 1 spot there, up 16% apparently. Ondo there is up 16%. Now keep a look on Ondo. It's up 15.8% for the week, so it's up massive today. And we're going to tell you probably why, right? So that is looking really good. Ondo there. Remember, it's the tokenization leader on crypto at the moment for stocks and commodities in particular. So we're going to look at that, right? So Pump Fund as well is up 11.8%. Dera beat their AI, 3.6%, and Sky 2.9% lending there. So those are the top 5 right now. It's a real mixture, of meme coin launches, AI, lending, tokenization, and APX there as well. So pretty crazy times here on the markets here. We got Hex Federer and House there. Hex is rocking, up 21%. Woo! Yeah, we're going to talk about that later on. Hex on the move, as well as PGC on the move, big time on the Pulsechain. All right, so let's have a look at the top 100 over the last week. So we've got Dixie. Dixie obviously is down 10.2% today. It's actually one of the big losers in the top 100, but is up 28% for the week. So still a winner over the week. Zcash Privacy up 22% for the week. ADI up 17% there. Ondo up 15.8%, and Arbitrum there up 15%. Of course, Arbitrum benefiting from Robinhood, right? So very cool using the Arbitrum stack. So very cool stuff happening there in the top 5 there. Real mixed bag. Real mixed bag today. All right, so there we go. That's pretty cool. Now we're going to come back to Ondo, obviously. But top gainers there, Aikido up to 58% in the top 1,000. The Grays currency, hooray! Look at that, guys. Look at that. Woohoo! That's the first time, is it, that we've seen a Pulsechain in there for a long, long time. That is pretty epic. If you're out there, you take a snapshot of this, man. Take a snapshot of this. PTC the Grays there is in the top 1,000 gainers, sitting at 63%. That is pretty awesome. And I just saw that. I didn't actually realize that. We got Talus there as well, is in the mix there as well. So let's see where the Grays is ranked. It's ranked 823. It's in the top 1,000. So I don't know if you're in PTC the Grays, clip this little thing. I don't mean it's not rendering the chart because they have a problem with that, but definitely this is well worth promoting because they've hit the top 1,000 here with a 61.7% gain and is now ranked at 823 on CoinGecko. So congratulations to PTC and Peri Banana and the PTC community there. What a great milestone there. Very cool. All right, that was a nice surprise, wasn't it? One nice surprise. Now trending overall, we've got CashCat. Now CashCat is down from Robinhood, right? So smash bang yesterday. And funnily enough, I posted about Cash Dog, which is a much smaller project, but that was down about 78%. So Robinhood there, down 38%. Now, CashCat, of course, one of the principal tokens on Robinhood that's been holding up the volume chain. That simply got smashed overnight there, down 38%. Now, second trending is Ondo. We're going to talk about that. That is the tokenization leader. And of course, that's one of our 3 mega themes, remember? Stablecoins, tokenization, AI, AI agents, payments. And then we've got Blackpool also trending, but it's down 70%. So pretty crazy. Today is a very pivotal day, and we're going to break it all down. Obviously, we've had really good inflation numbers, risk on there. Now, at the moment, quantitative tightening I'm just going to go back to monetary policy because it's kind of relevant here, I think. So December 25, quantitative tightening was essentially ended. And now we've moved into what's not quantitative easing because they're kind of emergency phrases, but we've moved into monetary expansion, about $10 billion a month from the Fed. That is helping to grow the M2 money supply, and that's growing at about 5.6% in a year. And so this is actually pretty good. Also matching the GDP growth at the moment quite well also. And that's also getting more banking circulation, more lending as well. And therefore, we're also getting more deposits because the GDP is higher, incomes are doing well. So we're getting all this positive expansion in the money M2 supply, which means more money to go on and buy risk on assets. So it's still going pretty good. It's not like hugely explosive, but it's certainly growing. NMT supply there is looking good. So we've got good monetary. We've got interest rates coming down. At least more dovish look on the interest rates because of inflation. at least a no change, which is good. We may see a decrease rather than an increase at the end of the year. Keep a track on that. Certainly tracking in that our favor at the moment. Still got a bit of work to do. And then we've got this slow, monetary expansion going on in the US with the M2 money supply. So it's all heading in the right direction here. We've got the Clarity Act coming up with this, so we're going to talk about that in a minute. So let's do that now. Not in a minute. Let's do it right now. So Clarity Act is coming up. We've got only about 22 days, but we've only got a few days. Those 22 days until the 7th of August to get this through in this sort of cycle. I think it's very unlikely after that. They're going to recess in August, the rest of August after the 7th, and then they're coming back probably to campaign in September, and then they're going to recess again, after that in October, and then we've got the midterms by November. So it's a very, very tight time frame. Obviously, there's been a lot of mixed signals. I think Polymarket's got this down. I can't remember what the number is, but it's down, certainly down low on getting through. I think it was in the 30s again, 30% or so. But we've got President Trump is expected to meet with senators Thursday to try and resolve the Clarity Act's crypto ethics provisions. It does seem like ethics is the one that's going to be holding things up. This is, of course, the Senate there with it's with Elizabeth Warren. She is pushing this ethics thing. She herself, guilty of the same problems that she's trying to make out with Trump is, right. And obviously, Trump had his big disclosure of $1.6 billion through the family. So it's at arm's length, but it's through the family's investments, which is arm's length from him. But this is politics, right? There's politics. He will probably need that money, if they lose the House in November, if they're assuming that does happen, because they will try and impeach him again, right? And so he will need that money to defend himself in court. So I don't know. It's just a bit of a hedge as well. But yeah, so we'll see what happens in that space. But of course, he owes the crypto community trying to do his best to try and push it through. It doesn't look like they're trying to do that. And he's going to be meeting with these senators to try and resolve the Clarity Act. And of course, we've also had, we're not sure if McConnell or and of course, we had what's the other guy's name that senator just passed away? I've forgotten his name. Graham. Those voting seats also are going to be important. So we'll see what happens there. We did have a gap about 7 votes. 2 of those probably Democrats in the Senate that would probably support it. So we're left with 5 that we need out of 40, 45. So we need 5 out of 45. To get that 60 votes on the Senate once the text hits the floor. Now, I don't know if the text has actually come out yet. I think it was pretty imminent. They have to combine, the banking committee and the agriculture committee, this so-called ethics provision that Warren's trying to push through to slam Trump, right? She's a hypocrite, right? Because she's made tons of money. And how did she do that? I don't know. She just magically did it, just like often they magically make, a lot of money. So we got all that playing out. And this is probably the biggest thing that may make it fail. So they're still pushing it through, and we'll keep looking out for it. So hopefully it gets pushed through as well. Obviously, we want it to go through because it's generally, obviously, potentially opening up trillions of dollars on the sidelines potentially. So we'll see what happens there. And of course, it opens up banks and bank accounts and fully regulates the crypto markets. It's also going to open up powers of the CFTC, particularly around spot markets and stuff like that. So it's a pretty big deal. Now, crypto's already moving without it. We also see a lot of lead indicators that banks, while they're challenging it, are also supporting, already entering the crypto market in a big way, trying to get part of the market structure. And so we'll see how it all plays out. But so far, this is where we're at. This is the latest update. And fingers crossed. Now, next week, we've also got the Genius Act regulations expected. I think it's by the 23rd of July. I think it's next Friday, if I remember rightly. So we've still got that pushing through, and that's exciting, right? So the Genius Act, the stablecoin's already going through. And of course, that helped spur on the boom with the digital asset treasuries last year, which are still buying, some of them anyway. Bitmine and Sharplink and things like that. So that's still progressing. So that's the latest and greatest on that. But as good as the inflation is and risk on, which is great, as good as the Clarity Act is moving through and the Genius Act regulations, we've actually got huge news today. And I cannot say it big enough. This is a mega news today. And we've hinted at this before, but the DTCC, guys, remember, there's 2 milestones, July. which is the early sort of into production trials. And then we've got October, all in on October, all in. And I can't say how important that is. So think about it. We've got July the 15th, which is what we're just going through. And we're going to go through this today. This is a mega big. If you're wondering why Ondo is the top in the top mover in the hundreds there, or at least the top two, this is why, right? So Ondo's moved up as the tokenization leader, member, has about 2/3 of the stock and commodities. And then the second big mover is X stocks, right, which is associated with Kraken. And the parent company is Paywood, right? Paywood. And both Paywood, which is the parent company, which has the 1/3 of those commodities and stocks, tokenization. Remember, there are other tokenization categories and stablecoins, USDC, etc., all that sort of stuff. But in the tokenization of commodities and stocks in particular, these are the two dominant winners at the moment, right? So there's other players in the place like Tokenize, Securitize, and others, but this is really the kingpin here moving forward. So these guys are all on the working group with DTCC. Now, remember what DTCC is? They're the settlement layer for the traditional markets. And they're coming over to take the same role. And in fact, they're already enabling a lot of this technology that we've got, particularly for Ondo, to do tokenized stocks, right? And they're the market dominator. So they're coming in to dominate the same position, essentially, and a bit more, as they were doing on traditional markets into blockchain. So you can see it's just a trade-off we're going to have, unfortunately. But they're in traditional markets, they're settling $114 trillion. Let me say that again, $114 trillion. And that's how big this deal is today with this first stage production. Pretty impressive. And we're going to go through some of the assets they've pushed through today and why Ondo is on the rise here. And I don't know if this is the beginning. We're heading towards October. Tokenized stocks like tokenized stuff like Ondo could just do some insane numbers moving forward. It's going to be very exciting to see that play out. So I hope you guys are excited about the content. Maybe maybe many of you may not have been following this, and is giving you a bit of insight into the fact of what is actually driving some big value moving forward, particularly over the next couple of months. We've got Craig in the house. Hey, morning all. Great to see Craig. All right, so let's have a look at us. So here we are with DTCC. We got this is the day, 15th of July, where this is the big trial production. We got JP Morgan successfully completed an equity token conversion involving Invesco's QQQQ trust. If you're in the stock market, you know all about that, offering the practical example of tokenization at work with trusted market infrastructure. So also, this is the tick off, guys. This is the tick off. So you can see here. Today, tokenization continues to move from discussion towards real-world market activity through live production of use cases. DTCC is demonstrating how tokenized assets move through established market infrastructure. This is a mega. This is one of the biggest things happening this year in the crypto markets is the tokenization theme. You guys know we talk about it, stablecoins, tokenization, AI payments, those sort of things. Well, in the middle there's tokenization. DTCC is the big settlement player. That's the infrastructure player. It's basically running the working group with all these different entities that are leading, as I said earlier, and the banks as well. It's a big deal. This is a mega deal. I cannot not say it enough. Hopefully I've emphasized that enough. A big deal there. All right, so let's move forward up here. We've obviously got, they also do their little news show. Isn't that cool? They do their little news show there. So, there's serious stuff here. One of the world's most traded ETFs, Invesco, is now tokenized. Hear from NASDAQ and DTC leaders on what the milestone could mean for the future. And so we've got NASDAQ obviously in the play as well, already moving to 24/7 trading here. Very, very cool. All right, we're going to jump through here. We've got a lot of little TV snippets. We're going to listen to all those. Our first live trades have taken place: equity conversions, security lending, and equity delivery versus delivery settlement on tokenized infrastructure designed for product use. Citadel Securities there on the move. So we've got a number of examples of what they're doing today on the 15th of July. Very exciting. JP Morgan posted tokenizations assets to satisfy CCP margin requirements with the CMN Group, demonstrating practical use case for tokenization collateral. So these are different types of tokenization going on, different products, and they're all happening at the moment in this trial day. And these are obviously active, but and the big players, JP Morgan, banks, all that sort of stuff. Kind of cool. So let's quickly move forward here. Societal Generale also doing treasury token conversion. So these are all different type of products. You guys to see, this is a mega day, guys, mega day. More live trades have taken place. Treasury conversion, equity conversion, collateral pledge settlements have been completed across participating firms, demonstrating how tokenized assets can operate at an institutional scale. Big day today. Big day today. It's a really huge. SPY just went on chain as well. Part of today's activities. So you can obviously talking about SPG Global. So S&P, pretty awesome there. Dow Jones indicators on the latest one there. So kind of cool. Sorry, there's a lot of these videos are auto-playing. I might just try and see if I can mute them all. Today's momentum continues. Model production use cases demonstrate how tokenized assets move. So it's also stuff. We got cross-chain transfers, collateral pledges, equity conversions. It's all on the move here today. And this is just the trial production, guys. This is not anywhere even close to full on-ramping, which is in October, right? So that's when it all goes. So very cool. Also on Times Square here, DTC was on the big board, featured on Nasdaq's market site display. So there we go. It's pretty cool, actually. Got some cool animations there. So you can see all that on the big board there. So there we go, DTCC. It's game on. It's game on. So very exciting there. Now we're going to keep going up here. We got tokenization here. So we got Marex, Drive Wealth, USD, US Treasury DVP, exchange tokenized US Treasury securities with simultaneous payment settlement. So all these different types of products on the market, all being trial productioned into the tokenization on the blockchain. Very exciting there. Kind of cool, including repo and equity transactions. Nice. We like it. We got Citadel there, obviously, with tokenization there. Velocity Capital, equity token conversion there as well. We're going to keep scrolling up here. All right, let's keep scrolling here. We're going to keep going. CNBC here, DTCC, Wall Street's post-trade powerhouse. Take the note of those words there. Test tokenized markets with industry heavy hitters. So can you see this is probably one of the most important days this year for these big crypto themes, and you heard Tom Lee talking about it, and this is huge. This is huge. So very exciting day today for the crypto markets. Now, obviously, there's a trade-off, right? So there's a trade-off there with all this, obviously relative to that. Now we're going to just listen to this video a bit here, and I think there's got a good summary on it. Hopefully, I've got the right video, but I think this is the one. So I'll just mute myself and let's play this little interview here.
It's been a historic day, one that marks a major milestone for global financial markets. Congratulations to everyone involved in executing these limited, live, production-grade tokenized trades using assets held within DTC. In total, we processed more than a dozen trades across several use cases, including collateral pledge, treasury repo, equity DVP trade, equity token conversion, equity DVD trade, CCP margin, and cross-chain conversion. Today's event involved multiple firms and contributors across the broader digital assets ecosystem. Let's hear thoughts about today from Brian Steele, President of Clearing and Security Services at DTCC.
What we demonstrated today is that tokenization is no longer a concept. We're accelerating the adoption of digital assets with the full weight of the market behind us. In partnership with nearly 40 institutions from across TradFi and DeFi ecosystems, we have successfully processed a range of transactions using DTC tokenized assets across collateral, treasury, and equity workflows. This is a significant moment. Together, we proved that tokenized assets can be integrated with traditional markets to support investors with diverse needs like improving collateral mobility, enhancing liquidity and capital efficiency, and creating greater interoperability between traditional and digital markets. Today's milestone reinforces our belief that embedding trust in scale will make for a more efficient, connected, and resilient financial system. We look forward to continuing to partner across the industry as we get closer to the launch of the DTCC tokenization service in October.
Thanks, Brian. Now let's turn back to Nadine Shakar for her reflections on this milestone event.
Here we go. It's the end of the day. We want to thank everybody that participated, everybody that watched as the day unfolded. I do want to close by saying, hopefully what we were able to demonstrate today, the same trust, the same resiliency you come to expect from DTCC was demonstrated today, but just on new rails. Today is just the beginning. It is the beginning of taking a roadmap, turning it into production, and hopefully support our participants and our partners worldwide in executing on their digital strategies.
On behalf of everyone at DTCC, I want to thank the participants, member firms, client organizations, blockchain networks, digital wallets, applications, exchanges, issuers, and others who played such an important role in making this possible. In the weeks ahead, we'll be highlighting many of these organizations and their contributions on dtcc.com and across our social channels.
All right, so you can see this is mega huge, right? So this is pretty cool. Production testing, full services going to be offered in October. This is $114 trillion under management. This is the trusted traditional service of TradeFi markets, and it's coming to the blockchain. It is super exciting. They're already powering Ondo and many other players. Paywood, for example, Kraken, Xstocks. These, of course, have been going over exchanges into wallets, into DEX markets, and that process is going to continue through the rest of the year. I can't say how more powerful this is as a key crypto catalyst. Is mega important. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed covering that, and that's one of the reasons why Ondo's up today. I don't know what the price of these tokenized stocks are going to be by October, but it could be pretty insane, and maybe that's the tip of the day in terms of some crypto plays that you're looking forward to. There's a lot of infrastructure plays in the top 100 cryptos at the moment, including many others. So, check them out. Now, if you guys want to get into our strategy club, links in the video description, pinned to the top of X, just over $1 today to get into there, and you can find out many of the other plays in infrastructure that are going to be rolling out. So, pretty exciting times, guys. Pretty exciting times. Mega stream today. All right, so remember, 114 trillion under management. They've got a lot of the key players in their working groups, including banks and service operators, including some of the crypto ones. It is a big deal moving forward, and this is going to just be ballistic in terms of offerings and volumes. It's exciting times ahead. All right, so let's move on. We're going to get into Bitcoin. Bitcoin at the moment is sitting just above the four-year weekly moving average. It's kind of 200-day moving 200-week moving average. It's currently sitting at $63,094. We're currently at $64,560. So very exciting now. Well, it's about $1,700 clear of the 200 weekly moving average. Obviously, we always like to do the bear scenario. Obviously, the 4-year cycle people have playing out to October. Are we going to have a fourth wave down? Well, at the moment, we're having a nice little repump here on the old Bitcoin. And we'll see how we go. See whether this will front run that October move. Still question mark there. And obviously, Clarity Act going to be important around general crypto. Bitcoin, of course, narrative has been challenged a little bit. Had a little bit of crisis with the old digital credit narrative, but that all seems to be done now. I really find it very limited stuff on there. I think they've moved to 20 months interest coverage. Really don't see an issue there, and I just think the market's so much bigger, and we'll see them probably become another massive net buyer again very soon once it gets back to a parity. We still have a lot of option challenges there with the option trades, and so we'll probably, I don't know whether it's going to occur until August. We'll be watching out for that. And of course, Stretch went ex-dividend yesterday. So we'll keep following Stretch and Strive. We've got 2 more other big, digital asset treasuries coming into play, and no doubt we'll get the ETFs flow going positive too at some stage soon. Now that we're getting a bit of green candles here, so we're going to keep watching out for that with the next few months. We're certainly in that, still in that sort of volatile months there, but certainly we've had a lot of good news in the last day or two in the right direction around monetary policy in particular. We've got that in 2 weeks. We've got the Clarity Act regulation stuff going through, the Genius Act next week. So these are all positive, potentially, wind in our sails, as it were. So tailwinds, and so we'll keep watching that moving forward at the moment. All right, we've certainly seen a lot of whales already come in, starting to accumulate. So fingers crossed we're either going to slowly creep up here. Maybe the bottom was in at 57,500. The alternative would be possibly be the fourth wave down to 47 to 50. I know a lot of people, a lot of commentators are wanting that for to liquidate a lot of leverage and stuff like that. So there is varying opinions on where we'll go here, but certainly very seldom we've been below this 200 weekly average, and it's always been pretty good buying. So we'll keep watching out for that. Certainly, I think the narrative there just needs a bit of pickup here for Bitcoin. Certainly, been hit a little bit there, but I'm sure it will be fine moving forward. Now, into the future, scarcity is going to be such a big problem, with the halvings and everything else, and all the demand coming in. So I'm expecting big numbers for Bitcoin moving ahead. And we've still got on the power law, we've still got around 200,000 by the end of the year on the power law with the midpoint. So I'll keep watching for that moving forward. Crypto re-rates pretty fast once the FOMO's in. And we saw a little taster of that again today. Let's jump into Ethereum. Ethereum on the 200 weekly average. Very different looking picture here. We've had 5 years of accumulation essentially under 5K. We have now got, we've got the price moving up quite nicely here. Now, remember this chart here. This chart is what happened last year. We had tariff relief. We had stable coins, Genius Act. We had digital asset treasuries come in, and then we had, a short coverage. So we had some key catalysts moving us up, and we moved up 256%, so 3.5x in 133 days. So if you'd been coming down from the top here at 4,140, you came all the way down to, was it close to 1,300 or 1,500, I think it was? What was the price? 1,388. You would have been pretty down like you have been recently, right? Because the orders came down again in 3 waves, pretty hard, down to 1,500. But look how quickly it retraced in 133 days there. And what catalysts have we got now? Well, same catalysts, but they're bigger. They're bigger catalysts. We don't have all the digital asset treasuries as in the play, but we've still got 2 good ones. The top 2 still buying, and they've still got more to buy. And so, we've got a lot of the big catalysts, the stablecoin boom. We've got the regulations next week. That's going to be supportive moving forward. More stablecoins. And then, of course, we've got tokenization taking off. As I said today, DTCC is coming in. This is the major settlement layer. So if you think about your city with the waterwork pipes, the water supplier, that's what DTCC is, right? Kind of like that. And of course, if you extrapolate that to the whole country, it's what they are, right? They dominate that sort of thing. So it's a big deal moving forward, and they're coming to take essentially the same kind of position in the crypto blockchain markets, because that's the future, right? Future 24/7 finance, baby. And so kind of cool. Now, I just have a look at this little chart here. Like we had this little takeoff last year for 1550, and we rallied up about 60% or so with inside a week, right? 60% on ETH on a week. And maybe we'll see that too. I mean, we've just had this little rally up to 22%. If we got up to 60%, that's going to take us to the 200 moving weekly average, and that's currently at 2,475. So I don't know, are we going to have a little rally to 25? We'll see. We've still obviously got a couple of months in the 4-year cycle bear scenario. So we've still got a few little challenges there, but we're potentially, we're getting a lot of positive catalysts so far as tailwinds. So we'll see how we go, but that might happen, something like that, and then have a bit of consolidation and then a power away again. So keep a lookout for that. This time, I think, of course, we're going to go past 5K, and that's within the next 6 to 24 months. I think we're going to power past 5K. As soon as we do that, we're talking about 10 to 20K Ethereum. All right. And what have we seen recently? Some of the catalysts for this year. We've seen the digital asset treasuries launch at least 3 organizations out of Ethereum Foundation. We have 4 of them, all on the proactive, on the offensive, to grow, not only to grow the institutional adoption, but also to commercialize the chain of Ethereum, and also bring on, I believe, what is going to be mass adoption through Tom Lee, Mr. Beast, and maybe a few other avenues we haven't seen yet. So mass adoption, I think, is going to come as too. Finally, it's going to be finally being here because we've got the right people to do it with the right access and the right money placed in the right places. So I think that's coming too. So that's going to be pretty cool. So I think when you're thinking about that, think about apps, think about bank accounts or crypto accounts. I think they're going to be everywhere, guys, everywhere. And Mr. Beast is going to be an obviously easy catalyst. Another distribution level will be the banks themselves. And I think this is going to be a big deal moving forward. as allocations start growing, right? We've seen BlackRock talk about 2 to 5%. I don't know if you've seen those discussions, portfolio allocation. I mean, even that's just insane for crypto. So we've got Michael Saylor working on the bond markets, the debt markets, and trying to fund Bitcoin and capital into the markets. And then we've got equity markets, could be absolutely huge boom with institutional and TradeFi finance coming over to blockchain, as well as retail mass adoption once and for all, finally being achieved, not by bringing them necessarily to DeFi, but actually just making it more like a bank offering. And they don't even care about what's underlying. They're just getting this easy thing. Do you want some Bitcoin? You want some ETH? You just use the app and you buy it up. But like Cash Apps and things like that, just making it really easy for people. And so we're on the verge of absolute massive re-rate. So you guys are all here at the right time, right place. You're going to pat yourself on the back as long as you're holding the good stuff. Like ETH and other assets in the key adoption there, like tokenization. I think you'll be laughing yourself all the way to the moon. Very, very exciting times. All right, so let's move on here. That's Ethereum. Let's jump into Pulsechain. Well, we did have Richard Hart. He hasn't really commented too much on Pulsechain for a while. He's been commenting on other market issues, like politics and other issues. But today we've got some upgrades. So PulseX has been updated. PulseX, of course, is the number one DEX on Pulsechain, a V2 technology. It's a V1.1.5 version. It has RPC node auto failover and supports custom RPC. Be a big boy and run your own node, and then you have your own private RPC. So there we go. That's some encouragement there. Moving forward, obviously, we've had some issues with RPCs, but looking good there. Be a bug. So we've got lots of different comments in there. I'm not going to go through all the comments, but that is from Richard Hart. And you can see the settings there: auto mode, Pulsechain official, etc. As well. So Pulsechain official having a bit of timing out there, but lots of other nodes to be done. And I know that LibertySwap's providing solutions with that, with heaps of RPC nodes, so that it's got all this redundancy behind it for trading. So very cool. So that was from Richard Hart today. He did have another update, I think, as well, and that was this one here. Pro tip: if you don't run your own node, you are a leech of those that do. It's really easy to run your own node. Here's some people you can leech off in the meantime till rpc.pulsechain comes back up. Also, I hear the front ends will have soon make it easier for you to be able to change your RPC, run your own nodes, kids, he says there. So there we are. Whole list there. Boom, boom, boom. We did see Crypto Coffee put out a list that was also in the monster thread under honorable mentions, I think, as well, if you want to find those. So RPC nodes there. But pretty cool, pretty cool. LibertySwap's obviously talked about that. We'll get up to LibertySwap later on, but that's kind of cool. All right, so let's have a look at Pulsechain. Pulsechain having a great day in the office. Let's do a refresh, make sure we get the latest and greatest. And let's see where we are. So we're up 11.75% on Pulsechain. So we gave a clap for DTCC production trials. And of course, that's a mega bullish over the next couple of months. I mean, it's going to be crazy, guys. And now we've got bullish news for Pulsechain downstream of Ethereum. Very cool. So Pulse at the moment almost up 12% and was up much earlier during the day. We're going to talk about that. But Pulse chart is at 5 zeros, 63.73. So let's just round it at 6,400. And of course, did a massive pump. And we're going to talk about that when we get to the chart later on. Hex at the moment on Pulsechain. Remember, we're on day 1,160 on Pulsechain since Pulsechain launched on the 13th of May 2023. It was a system state fork of Ethereum on the 10th of May, so 3 days earlier. And we've had no hard forks since then. We've had client updates to get some of those upgrades. And that's kind of where we are with the chain development there. No doubt we'll probably, if there's any quantum solution, we may end up hard forking for that. And trying to herd cats, in other words, validators, to get that done in the future, no doubt, is my expectation there. PHEX is sitting at just under 11/100th of a penny, let's say 1/10 of a penny, up 22.2%. And we know we've got some people in the chat there pretty excited about that. Xvader says Hex is rocking, up 21. Well, it's 22.2 now. Where's the update? Where's the update? No, I'm just kidding. It's great stuff. God candles incoming. Cheers to those who have been accumulating, says Hexwader. That's true. That's true. So Hex there, up 22% on Pulsechain. Very cool. And we've got ProveX at the moment at 4 zeros 42. So what's that? 44,000 of a penny, up 4.8%. That was the was it the one that was green yesterday? I'm trying to remember. It was the only one red yesterday. I think it was red yesterday, wasn't it? Pulsex at the moment at 505 something, up 15%, and Ink Token at 32 cents, up 11% there. So Hex, Pulsex doing particularly well today, but Pulse, the feed coin, up 11.7%, so pretty good. We'll check out the charts in a minute. Let's go to the gas prices. We've had pretty low gas prices. Let's see what this is saying. 400,000 beats, still pretty low. 60 pulse for a Pulsex swap right now. 400th of a penny for a Pulsex swap. Let's jump into the validators. We obviously had lost quite a few thousand validators, then gained a couple hundred recently. That's still the case there, 45,424. And then finally, we're going to look at our bridge, sort of a leading indicator. And we're at 49.6. So obviously with Bitcoin ETH up, we have obviously stablecoins, USDC, USD Tether, DAI. A lot of that's just sitting idle on the chain for some reason. We have a small portion of that in the LP pools. We've got pretty thin liquidity on Pulsechain. And then we have Bitcoin and Ethereum, right? And they go up and down with the price, generally speaking, obviously, all the time, actually. But let's have a look. We're at 49.6 million. Our low was 47.42. So we're up about 2.2 million in US dollar value there, and we've got an error on the chart here, so it's not rendering at the moment. But that is our key numbers, so nice to see that value up a bit. Let's go to the Pulsechain chart. We're going to go full mode here. So we're up 12% on this chart. This is the weekly candles, and look at that wick. Look at that wick. So obviously LibreSwap talking about deploying dry powder, and here we are. We've got the big pump here. Now I want to talk about this because look at my yellow chart here. It's at 1200, right? So is this, often when we wick down or up, we can often follow it up. Not all the time, but let's see whether we do this time. Yeah, we got to, let's see here, we got to 4 zeros, 1179. So we lost a zero on the way. So we're at 5 zeros at the moment. We've got 4 zeros, 1179. As I said, to get over 1200 is the key for me. Because we've come down further than that, we do have to get over 8,200. So can we get over that in the next few days? So that's kind of an interim. Let's call it the interim level. But as we get lower highs and lower lows, we've got this mega downtrend for over 3 years. You can see that there. We're trying to break that. The first thing we want to do is find the bottom, and then we want to break that mega downtrend and start pumping to the upside, so we can get some of these more of these God modes candles coming in there as well. Yeah, absolutely. So we had a bit of a mini God mode candle today, let's say. Obviously got sold down here in the markets, but hopefully that's that net selling is going to help create the positive move to the upside here. 8,200 is our next target. Obviously losing a zero at 1,000 is pretty important, but getting it back to 1,200 here. So let's see if we can slowly inch over the weeks ahead up to here, and at a decent pace would be pretty positive, and head towards that 1,200 and finally break this downtrend. I suggest that we need to get to 1,700, come back down and retest 1,200 or 1,000, and then slowly move up to the upside, whatever that looks like, right? So we've got plenty of room in the RSI on the weekly. Let's go to the daily quickly, just to see some of this daily action. Let's go to that. So that's the wick that we had, and big pump there on the RSI. We bounced off 5,500, so our all-time low is 5,400. We got pretty close to that this time. In fact, only a fraction above it, very fraction. It's not even worth talking about. So basically a double tap there. We had a nice little big pump here, presumably Liberty swaps of dry powder, and we got pumped all the way almost to the 1,200 there. So still a bit of work to do. We're back over the 20. We're over the 21 moving average on the daily, which is the kind of the trader's view. Very cool. And obviously we pumped over the 50 as well. So yeah, let's see where we head here. Getting back over the 50, which is at 6,500, would be pretty important here. So we'll look to see we get that positive momentum to the upside, and hopefully we've absorbed a bit of selling by pumping through there, hitting some limit orders, maybe things like that, and on we go there. All right, bots and limit orders and the pump and numbers, the short-term mindset guys eating through that. So keep a lookout. We've certainly got tailwinds, certainly positive there, the wins and the sales. So we'll keep looking out for that moving forward. All right, let's look at the winners today. Well, we saw PGC the Greys hit the top 1,000 on trending on CoinGecko. Just give another clap for that. I mean, that's so cool. So yeah, we got PTC the Grays at the moment dominating the Pulsechain 100 trending. This is Dick Screener's default view. You guys know I go through it every day. But before we get to PTC the Grays, which is great news, we got $7 million in volume. Isn't that awesome? So $7 million in volume. That's pretty awesome. Yeah. So $7 million is awesome. 300,000 transactions as well. So we're up on the transaction numbers. But more volume means, especially on an up day, it's more fees, obviously, for the DEXs, more fees for the DEX aggregators, more fees for the liquidity providers. Potentially, if we have it sustained, we'll encourage more LP providers to provide TVL, maybe get some of this inactive stable coins and other things off the sidelines into the markets, increasing TVL, and also getting more volume over time, all sort of positive flywheel stuff. But we need to kind of need a little bit sustained, but certainly any day that's doing well. We've typically been doing $2.5 to $3.5 million in volume. So we're maybe 2 to 3 times the volume today, which is always exciting, right? We'll take that, and we've got some nice movers in the charts here at the moment. And we're going to get the psychology on the positive, and hopefully start getting people bridging in over capital. We're certainly getting a lot of blue chip projects over the last couple of months trying to help to make this easy to do. Obviously, Liberty Swap and many other DEXs and DEX aggregators, SwitchX, etc., all playing their part. We've got a lot of smaller DEXs also trying to play their role as well. Cross-chain technology ramp now. I mean, there's lots of options there. I think there's 30 plus options now to do some sort of cross-chain stuff with Pulsechain. So yeah, it's kind of exciting. Let's go to the volume. So $7 million. Pulsex at the moment, our V2 DEX. Doing 5 million, so doing the bulk of that. So that means that we've got about $1.9 million. Liberty Swap is doing 643, so it's pretty cool. So what do we say? What did I say? 11. So we got 3.5. Let's say 450 or 460. Let's say 460. Hunting 460 now. 9mm, our V3. So Liberty Swap 9mm, both 3.3s. We got $1 million there. I don't know. Is this adding up? It's adding up here. What did I say? Did I do something? I think I made a mistake and missed $1 million off when I did the math. So we got 1.9 million. Okay, yeah, I missed $1 million off that. So my bad. I don't know what's 9mm's doing at number 3. What's it doing there? It should be number 2 spot. What the heck? So that's Dick Screener for you. I don't know. It must be Dick Screener. But let's go back in Pulsex and let's do this overview first. So we got Richard Artcores dominating with the volume. We got 4 peers over 100K. Isn't that great? It's so good to see more peers over 100K. PTC the Grays is in there as well, obviously, and Richard Cores. So basically, PTC the Gray and Richard Cores providing the bulk of stuff on Pulsex. Liberty Swap doing 640. So we had 190. So we're looking for about 1.3, let's say. And most of the volume on Liberty Swap is Peacock. Pretty awesome volume on there today. Sitting almost at 1 cent on the price too. OG WebChef Peacock doing great volumes there as well, and Pulsechain, 3 peers over 100K, and as well benefiting a lot from Wrapped ETH. That's another peer, I would say. Is it 90? Yeah, just 1,000 underneath with the old Wrapped ETH there. But that is doing really well with the Wrapped ETH, and then we got some DAI as well. So those are kind of dominating there. So what do you say? We got about 1.3 million. Well, we got 1 million on 9mm, and I'm not sure why it's sitting at number 3. Should be number 2 spot there. And where's the volume coming from? Well, apparently, I don't know. It's crazy, but we got Hex, the Richard Cores, are doing most of the volume, and Wrap Bitcoin as well from Ethereum. So there we go. I'm not sure where I see the volumes here adding up to 1 million, but maybe that's an issue there. I don't know. Looks like a glitch in the matrix. We got SwitchX, so we're still doing about 145. So I think we've still got about 150 left to search for. I don't know where it is, but let's go to the volume. Mostly Pulse and Wrapped ETH again, and along with Switch itself is having a bit of a lift here today. But the price still pretty muted at 4,700 to a penny, so just under half a cent. It's a long-term play. We're going to be watching that. It's going to be some interesting gameplays, I think, for SwitchX moving forward in the next few months. I don't know if we're going to have to wait for 9 months. I think it might be maybe the key positioning will happen within this maybe 6 months period. We'll be watching that. Interesting gameplay there from Brandon, and I think he's got more to launch, particularly around tokenization. So we're going to keep tabs on Brandon, little sneaky Brandon, doing this alpha blue chips rollouts. We're going to watch him. That's our V4 DEX too, by the way, automated liquidity management. getting high yield from concentrated liquidity and automated for you, so you don't have to think about it. And it works every sort of couple of hours, I think, is the way the algorithm works. So cool. That is the big plays there. Let's see what 9inch is doing. 60K, not too bad. Where's that? Most of it's not even showing up here. So it must be other stuff that's going. It's not even showing up on here for some reason. Maybe it's just the way they do the trending here. I don't know. And then we got 6K on the old Uniswap there. Let's jump over to all dexes and get into the winners today. Of course, PDC the Grey is pretty awesome. As you guys know, we covered just a couple of days ago. Was it 3 days maybe? UFO launched. They relaunched their token to give it that bot protection so that it can actually start burning more PDC the Greys. And today we've got a big move. So we've got different pairs, all number 1 to 7 dominating the top 10 from 45 to 76%. So let's say it's up around 70% at the moment. And also, of course, it's hit the top 1,000 on CoinGecko, which is pretty awesome. It's a free billboard getting the top 1,000. I don't know whether they're ranked on, maybe they're ranked on what do we say? 24-hour volume rather than market cap. So I don't know. Have they got that achieved? I don't know. No, we should probably go check. I'll check it out after the live stream. Might talk about it tomorrow. But then 1 to 7. I'm sure Pure Renana must be jumping around on his streams. I don't know if he's done a stream yet, but that'd be pretty cool. Maybe we'll go have a look. We have a little nosy there. X, of course, been around for over a year. That's up 40%. And then Hex comes into the mix here. Look at this domination from PDC, the Greys, and Hex today. Number 9, 10, 11, 14, 15, 16, 17. All Hex pairs there, up 23%. Hex making a lot of moves. Still back to kind of where it was, sitting around for ages at 1100th of a penny. So it's kind of just got back to that level. Obviously, it's a long way away from doing some, super moves. 3 cents, of course, is the natural target back to the upside. That's kind of a key milestone there for Hex. That's what's 30x from here. So we'll see how that goes. Hex ALGO, of course, is a Hex derivative. That's following it up by 23%. And then we've got DevC coin in the mix there at number 11, 23% as well. So those are the dominants. Then we got some James Maria, number 18, all the way through to number 23. Teddy Bear meme coin up about 17%. And mixed in there is another meme coin, one of our top ones, most wanted. Pretty niche there, community, 17%. And then we get the pump tires. So it's Meme City here in the top 25. After we get past Hex CD and PDC DAO, we're getting into all the memes. So they're making a bit of a comeback here, 16%. Unity, which is a DeFi product from Cryptographics at number 25, up 16%. One of the UFO peers here, sitting up 16% here. Investor OG WebChef is up 16% today, back to $3.12. Woohoo! So that's pretty cool. Look at that chart, man. You got to have really diamond hands on that thing. You got to have nerves of steel on the old OG WebChef. But look, probably made I don't know, maybe $1.5 million or so on the old Peacock Ninjas. Maybe they're pumping this chart here. We've got some volumes coming in. Some pretty decent volumes. What, that 28, 12, 19K in the last 3 days. But that thing's just gone up to the moon here. Interesting stuff. Now I'm making some, inferences there. So just take note. It's not facts necessarily. Just my guess there. But 287% in 36 days. That's a 3, almost a 4x inside just over a month. So if you've been lucky enough, you have to be following OG WebChef to pick up this sort of opportunity. But certainly, if you got a breakout around $1.14, that would have been pretty awesome. And depending what you put into it, it could be quite amazing. Bang bang. I mean, they've got 67K liquidity, so it's still retail play. If you're going to exit, you exit or exit on that, but entry or exit on that, I'm trying to say. We've got Frank White in the house there. Bang bang, late gang. Good to see you, Frank White. Yeah, green day indeed on Pulsechain. Absolutely looking great, isn't it? Yeah. All right, so that is where we are right now on the old 3 there. We're on 3.11, 3.12. I was just thinking I should do something, but I don't want to. Maybe I'll. I'm not sure if I'll be able to do it. Yeah. Anyway, we'll come back to that. All right. So I do have. Don't I have a? Oh yeah, I do. I have. Let me just play this. Let me do this one moment. This is celebration of today. Let me do that. I think it works. All right. So you guys ready to celebrate green candles here on the chain? And why not? For investors, it's high risk, high return on the old OG web shift, but I mean, this chart's looking amazing. So let's give some celebration green candles. Here we go. Yeah. All right. All right, so that was green candles there, celebration. Anyway, so OG Redshift up there pretty nicely. We haven't seen a day like this for a long time on the old Pulsechain, so we might as well celebrate it while it's here, right? And maybe it's the beginning of something. Maybe we can get a 3-4 day move, maybe even a week move. We'll see. We'll see. But one day is we're not going to get too carried away. But nevertheless, we've got some nice moves here at the moment. X game number 28 there from Firewall up 15%. P Tiger, Crypto Tiger God up 15% there. Very little volume on these, just noting. And then we've got Pulsex coming in at 15% at number 30 to 33 here. 9mm, our second or third biggest DEX. It's hard to tell today. A little bit of glitch in the matrix there, but it's up 14%. Very low volume on this pair though. Pretty crazy there. We did have a bit of selling on 90mm, right? So it's still just recovering from that, no doubt. What else? We got Swarm, number 36, up 13%. Doubt token. Is that the other? What was the other one? Most wanted, yes. Most undoubted. Doubt, two of our top meme coins. They're pretty diamond hand holders, generally speaking. So they're kind of boutique in that sense. Firewall, obviously we talked about that. Emmett Farm. So big shout out to Emmett Farm, Kairos there, our leading high yield farm on Pulsechain, generally speaking. 13% right now. It's up today at 61.5 cents. So big shout out to them. Swarm at the moment up 13%. RH Pepe. This got smashed yesterday, didn't it? Got smashed yesterday, I thought. Yeah, Smash Burger. Have you guys had a Smash Burger? Let me know in the chat if you have a Smash Burger. And if you do have Smash Burgers, what's your favorite place? It's a US thing, right? They basically slam down the mince patty and put cheese on it, don't they? Put cheese on the thing. So let me know if you've got a favorite place for the old Smash Burgers. Yeah, that's pretty much it. All right, so that is the old RH Pepe. It's got a bit of recovery today. Let's jump back here. It's pretty easy to talk about the charts today when just about everything's green. We got Pulse Bitcoin from Fat Sammy and the Pulse Bitcoin Council, one of our largest communities on Pulsechain, just like PDC. The Greys up 12.8% there at the moment. Vouch, we had Jexer in the house yesterday. Big shout out to him. And a big, he reposted the show yesterday, so I appreciate that too. Our number one public validator, along with our number two is PlusX/Validator X from Haunted. But Vouch is up 12.67% today. Pulse Puppy up a little bit too, 12.6, and we got Die as well up there, 12.5%. What else? Incentive token coming into play here, up modestly 12%. A bit of a troper from James Maria, up 12% there. Treasury Bill, James Maria, 12%. Smorg, a boutique team on Pulsechain, doing a couple of reflection tokens. Opus is one of them, up 12% there. Curve, maybe a property tokenization on Pulsechain, although I haven't seen any status yet, so I've still got work to do there, but it's up 11.5% there. Gizmo, kind of a niche product, 11.4% niche DeFi. Phoenix, another one there, up 10%. Basically no volume on that though. Peacock coming into the play. So Peacock has just hit 1 cent again. So there we go. Peacock, we're going to talk about them. Of course, the Kraken project on Pulsechain. And we're up 10% there at the moment. So I think they've got 4 buy and burns operating with the DeFi at the moment. They may move to, my guess, in the next 6 weeks, they may move to maybe 8 on the probably 8 DeFis, all buying and burning Peacock. And maybe at the end, maybe on the upside, 10. If you add them all up, we'll see how they go there. Spot and perpetuals, they're not talking about those at the moment. They were expected in July, not on the roadmap. So, I don't know whether they're going to surprise launch that or they're just moving it back a little bit. But we'll keep tabs at there. Certainly got a lot on their plate. And the dry powder today, of course. But back to 1/10 of a penny in the old Peacock, up 10%, sitting at number 66, next 67. Now, where else? We're going down to SolidX, Firewall, Stake ETH, the fork token there, 10%. And then we get into some of the Peacock or Liberty swapped quadfecta. We've got Zero Trust there doing news and DeFi and commerce, most importantly. So if you're after commerce solutions on Pulsechain, Zero Trust is kind of leading that charge there, up 10%. Or we might talk about them coming up. Sparta, we might as well move past Sparta, right? Because it's not really hardly any hex in there. We got let's move down here. Payment has had some interesting volatility. So yeah, up and down, up and down. Here it is at 6.5 cents right now. It's a PDI project helping support PDI volumes. World's greatest printer from OG Webshift again, up 6%, sitting at 21 cents right now. Liquid loans, or we call it a liquid loans, is sitting up 6% right now. BBC token from 9inch, the NCM token up 6%. Almost no volume on liquid loans or BBC. It's just mind-boggling. This boggles mind. So it's just the contrast between 52 million sacrifice and where that project is at. It's just the contrast is so staggering. There's only 49 or how much 27k liquidity, and I think this is the main peer for liquid. It's just boggles the mind. Provex at the moment gets me every time. I just can't stop talking about it for some reason. We got Provex here at the moment up 5%. Obviously peer-to-peer. This could be within the next 2 to 6 weeks. Could be the first adoption phase for Provex. Obviously in beta, we're looking for that as well. Maybe with liquid loans, Proteus and Vault 369. Not Proteus, VersaVault and Vault 369, all on imminent launches. We've got Top Hat there from Crypto Coffee up 4.7%. SwitchX from Brandon with our V4 DEX. And of course, I know he's got a lot of things. I think he's got a few things up his sleeve, guys. And I was just extrapolating a few things that he might be doing. Remember he's in Texas, right? But Texas just launched an exchange, probably to compete with. It's going to take a while, right? Because they've been around for long. But Chicago Commodities Exchange, the New York Stock Exchange, etc. And Texas has now got their own exchange. Now it's got a ramp up phase over next year, and it's got to build up. I think they're not going to like IPOs until end of this year, if not the beginning of next year. But I don't know. Brandon's hooked up into that Texas ecosystem, right? So I don't know. I'm just extrapolating all these things, but we'll see what happens there. What else there? We got what else? We got Top Hat there. We're down there. Whale Bay is popping its head up there, 2%. Ink Dollar there, and of course we know that this is from Fast Abdul, one of our 4 liquidity forks using Ink at the moment. Obviously, it's a stable coin, but it's at $1.08, so it's a stable coin with a premium. So it's in high demand, I guess. High demand. I know it's not a lot of volume on it, but it's in high demand. Bonnie Richards car meme coin up a little bit there, and Surgical Trainers as well. So we've got 97 coins, 97 coins, or at least peers, I should say, trending green. A few that are down today. Peacock Ninjas, the big OG web chef. Now, while they're down 28%, and they are down significantly, volumes are still okay. Still doing probably, I don't know what all the peers are doing, but maybe still doing 175 to 200k, something like that. But that price definitely came down today. So this is what I was talking about. This is what I was worried about. You guys know I've been talking about it. This is high risk, high return. Some people would hate these things, and other people love them because they can make some pretty quick profits. Typically, you have to be in early, and eventually the price, maybe we get some selling of the price. Volumes are still ticking over real nice, so you're still earning USDC there, but you get this risk, downside price risk, which is your capital that you put in, right? So if you're buying up here, you're trying to make high yields every day, and you are earning high yields, but your capital price can offset that dramatically. So it's a bit of a challenge. You just don't know how long the profile is going to run for, and how OG WebChef can push this back up, for example. So we'll keep a lookout for this, see whether they push it back up. Obviously, they're earning a lot of stable coins with dominant part of the pool, so there is a proportionality there that could help them defend this. So we'll keep watching out, but certainly getting rolled at the moment, especially when Pulsechain starts ratcheting it up. Maybe people switch, do rotation, maybe into PDC to Greys or something like that, right? So I haven't looked at the transactions on there, but there's a lot of bot stuff going on, right, with the volumes and stuff. But there we go. That's definitely down today to 4.800. Had been sitting, midpoint was around 4.0. Let's say in this zone here. I guess it's more around 4.0s, 9,500. It's now at 4.0s, 4,800 right now. Been down as low as 37.60. So we'll keep watching out for that. SCADA as well, one of our boutique teams is down with Nuke Supply, one of our most innovative small teams, and that's down 7.4% today. Let's have a look at that chart. That's pretty much rolled, isn't it? But done pretty well. It's definitely looking like oversold on the daily with the RSI. Let's have a look at the weekly. Weekly's down at 47. Definitely last 4 weeks been a bit of a sell-off there. Let's look at the pulse ratio to be completely fair. Yeah, definitely down 4 weeks there to 242. Looks like it peaked out at 626 there, and that's one of our more innovative niche, smaller teams. But they've got a pretty big community, diehard community there. Great innovation, one of our best innovative teams. But it is down, getting rolled over there. Right. All right. So, when people make profits, maybe they just, start rotating into other stuff, like Hex and PPC and things. That's kind of what happens maybe on the chain there. All right. So that is the markets. So, yeah, $7 million. We'll take that. We're doing 2.5 to 3.5. So that's 2 to 3 times more. And we'll take that, isn't it? Maybe somewhere in that ballpark. Richard's been posting. So, things are kind of good. The macro picture's looking really good. We've had good inflation, good tokenization. We're getting all the mega themes heading in the right direction. Let's see. Hopefully, Clarity Act goes in our favor. That would be really, really exciting. Anyway, we've had Liberty Swap, obviously the big Kraken project here. Been teasing about dry powder. They've been doing this little video series. We're waiting for episode 4 because that might actually have the mic drop because episode 3 it was a little bit weird, but it's hopefully. We're going to get the drop there. In any case, it seems like Liberty Swap brought over some dry powder and deployed. So here they go, dry powder deployed. Main RPC goes down for 12 hours. Spicy tweets start flying. FUD rains down from every direction. A lightning fast PulseX fix drops faster than ever before. Then everything else turns green. I don't know. So here we go. Now we just need Sir Nathan to return to Pulsechain as soon as possible. Season 1, episode 4. So we're waiting for episode 4 and looking forward to a launch there. I have fully awakened, had a good workout this morning, so that's good. So we're looking forward to that. I don't know if there's any comments in below here. Let's see here. Obviously, a lot of meme silliness going on. Just the first leg up. Want the second one? Question mark. So they're going to do some more market making on the old Pulsechain. Is that question going on? Are they going to do some more market making? Is this an opening salvo? So yeah, we'll see. And then the question is, where's the capital coming from? Obviously, they're very good with capital management, and they have capital funds. They seem to be running a fairly large team. It seems to be a global team, but is it? I don't know. Is it based in the United States or Europe, or a combination thereof? Certainly interesting there. Many people have talked about different theories around that. All right, so that is with the Liberty Swap. So we're going to keep looking out for that. Let's jump over here. Oops, fat fingered it, they said. Well, they obviously knew what they were doing, right? Making a candle like that. You don't just do a candle like that without knowing, they know what they're doing. They know that they're going to spike it all the way up there, presumably. All right, so bridge to Pulsechain now. Indeed. Let's see what people said about this. Let's see this. Bridge Pulsechain now. What else have we got there? Shawgates, obviously a big community influencer there, says, I hate it here. This is why we can't have nice things. It's pretty funny. Sorry, I'm raising funds for the next round of pumping the chart there. So, I don't know. We've got lots of things going in there. Xavier, one of the top 3,000, I think, influencers on X. 537,000 followers. Big shout out to Xavier. Been a big supporter of the chain. It's kind of cool. Liberty Swap there took a healthy profit here. Massive 150k victory, says Liberty Swap there. So we got Mastermind there. So we got some big trades going on there. What else? I hate blood and guts things, brains and stuff. Dude, second leg is coming. Yeah, we'll see. DApps should run their own PCs. So we've got a few comments there. Was it? Yeah, swapping a few $100,000 in a single order will definitely move the price. Price impact can be significant. Welcome to Pulsechain. So there's a few little comments there, so you can go through the rest of them. Let's move on. A little bit of swaps updates. Now I am poor. I am running a sacrifice phase. Need more dry powder. Pulsechain infrastructure is lightning fast. Haters blame congestion, but I don't buy it. You guys dumped $500,000 on me within 30 seconds, they say. So there we go. All right. Let's jump in there. All right, let's scroll through here. 3 hours ago, dry powder is so explosive, 100% gain in 30 seconds. Now we just need to wait another 12 months for the next round. Good news, season episode 4 is coming. Thank you for your attention to this matter. So, they've been dropping all this. We'll be looking forward to it. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I think, maybe part of that season 4 is going to be the decentralized stablecoin solution. I don't know. We'll see what it means, but maybe it might be that. Now, I did say to you that Zero Trust is part of the quadfecta of Liberty Swap. We kind of generally put it in there. They got their LP tied in. They seem to have a lot of complementary services. Their one link is here, and we saw that in the monster thread, and it's pretty powerful stuff. In fact, we might be using it here at the Crypto Night Show. We're going to look at that as well. So kind of cool. One link to rule them all. So if you want to do commerce, check out that tech there with the one link as sort of a social media / payment system, all in one link. So check it out. Zero Trust, kind of cool. $10. He's a big Peacock fan and got a website there. He's got 10 Peacock, has acquired 1,000 Peacock for $10. And he's been slowly accumulating a sort of public wallet. And he's got his website, which is really cool. Shows the total Peacock burn, both the original burn in the top wallet and the 369 address, and the total burn off the top as well. Hexvader says, "Got my Zero Trust hat today," says Hexvader. Very, very cool. I hope you wear that proudly in the United States, US of A. In Alabama. Alabama. All right, so kind of cool stuff there. 2 hours ago, as one of the last surviving OG web Pulsechain influencers, is pretty funny. I believe I have officially called the bottom. So there we go, bottom is in from Liberty Swap. The chart moved exactly as predicted, up 100% from my call, and then proudly stayed there for a legendary 28.4 seconds. Absolute precision. Want more alpha? Subscribe. There we go. So yeah, it's pretty funny. What else have we got from there? Let's see if we got any other comments. Let's see. There's a Liberty Swap there. Say no to drugs. I don't know how much merch they got, but apparently Hexfader's got the hat. Let's see what else we got there. The second leg will be legendary, so let's see what happens in there. But you kind of do need a bit of a market maker to get us flowing back to the other direction. So keep looking out for that. So that's pretty much it. As you guys know, we've got a new post just out now. How about that? Aren't we lucky? What is this down here? Let me have a look. This one here, T-shirt, is it? Welcome to Pulsechain. Say no to drugs. Say yes to Liberty Girl. There we go. We just got this out, by the way. This is just 22 minutes ago. Peacock LP is performing very well thanks to strong demand and healthy trading activity. Traders hold the floor, defend the price, buy back and burn, then buy back and burn even more. That makes an ideal asset for lending markets and compelling long-term store of value there. So some good stuff happening with the old Liberty V3. Now you can find obviously Liberty V3 on their platform. We'll now see how strong the 7 upcoming products will buy back and burn Peacock this week. So as I said to you, I think they're doing around 4 at the moment, buy and burns products. So DeFi, obviously the Pulsechain bridge and the V3 DEX, etc. But looks like they've got potentially another 7 projects launching, which would take them up to around about 10 or so plus or minus 1 or 2, let's say. So that's pretty bullish. So you can only see the ecosystems dramatically rolling. Now, I think they said a little while back that just with approximately 4 DeFi projects that they were burning, buy and burn equivalent to about 23,000 validators. Now we've got 45,000, so 23,000 is pretty impressive. So after another 7, and some of those, all products, not all products are equal, but as the system expands, as their ZKX wallet of everything expands, it's all up and to the right there. So just an investor's game rather than a pump and dump game. Very cool. So we'll keep a lookout for that. Could be pretty exciting. So nice work. What else? I think that's it. So coming up, of course, their roadmap. We've got the ZKX wallets. We've got Liberty Pool updates, Liberty Swap updates, Liberty on-ramp, off-ramp, which is what a major update here coming up. What else is major? These are all important updates, but certainly major update there of Liberty on and off-ramp. What dropped off is we haven't seen the Liberty Perpetuals, which was kind of the flagship, if you ask me. So I don't know what's happening with that at this stage. I have made comment, got no reply. So we'll just have to wait and see where they're heading. They're obviously rejigging. Look, here we've got an update there. Great lineup. When there's Perpetuals and Peacock Special Burn Accelerator coming. Within this year, we will build the foundation of complete financial system. So looks like they have deferred the Perpetuals. So Perpetuals, which is it's a big deal for Pulsechain. So they're just obviously relining their rollouts and decide to bring other things ahead of it. So I don't know, maybe it's August or September. We shall see their very general terms there. All right. So that's kind of cool. That's where we are right now. At least we've got an answer on that to some degree. A bit of a vague politician's answer, but still we got something there. All right, so let's see what else we got going. How are we up to? We're up to an hour and 30 minutes on the live. Hope you guys are enjoying the show. Man, big things today, man. Big things. That production from DTCC and the House for Tokenization, hyper bullish, guys. I don't know, by October, we've got this 4-year cycle play out, assuming, I don't know whether if we make that fourth wave down or not, we're going to need a real catalyst for that. And so far, we're getting only tailwinds, not headwinds there. So unless one of these, Clarity Act thing gets shot down, maybe the market makers might use that to get us a fourth wave down. We'll see. Yeah, we've got so much good stuff happening with this tokenization, and then stablecoin next week. Remember the regulations coming out. So stablecoin tokenization all on track, big time. Takeoff phase to mainstream phase by October. And then by next year, we could see $1 trillion plus of market value. We're at about 35 to 40. In fact, let's have a quick look at the RWAs. So let's go have a look at that. So you're at 34 right now. 34 with represented at 383. So 34. Is this going to be, let's say June next year? Is this going to be something like $1 trillion plus? That's what we're expecting. And once DTC comes in on October, 114 trillion under management. If you're wondering how do you jump those big numbers, well, this is how, right? So that intermediary step by October. So it is massive. And this is going to underpin the future of finance on the chain. You saw how many different types of products that they were product testing today. And you saw you see the people that we're talking about. They're the key makers in that company in DTCC. It is a big deal. So exciting times. This trend chart here is probably just going to start skewing up and to the right there. We can see obviously US Treasuries. Debt's a big part of it at the moment, 15.5. I expect that to continue to ramp up, especially after next week. The regulations that the chair, Walsh, is trying to get those out by next week. And then you've got, at the moment, a big boom in commodities and stocks happening. That stuff's just going to continue to explode. You saw the DTC settlements there coming in. It is huge. And then, of course, asset-backed credit is going to explode as well. Specialty finance. Active strategies has been a big winner in the last month. So active strategies have really been booming, 1.7. I can suggest that's probably going to continue to grow. So big stuff happening in the space. Real estate is going to be ginormous too, but it's probably going to be further down the track. Obviously, we've got on Pulsar, we've got that little curve project. We don't think they've done anything with that yet, really, in real terms. But real estate is going to be something we're going to watch in the future. Obviously, one of the biggest markets in the world. And, we'll be watching that. Obviously, as a big category, the biggest market category in the world is derivative markets, right? We'll see that with the underlying markets. Real estate's massive, right? Obviously, everyone needs a house and there's all these investors and stuff. Keep watching out for this number. Come back to this every month and see where we're going, because we're going to have slow creeps, and I think in percentages, nice creeps in the percentages. And obviously, this is price and volume driven, so remember the price side of it. But I suggest you're going to have dynamic incremental jumps, and October is obviously a big one for that. And that's going to lead into the rest of the year. So very exciting stuff happening there. That's why I was so keen on Liberty Swap to get their perpetuals out this month. It's still very much the takeoff phase. Now, obviously, August is fine if they get it out then, or September, I guess. But certainly before October would be cool. And you want to ride this wave up as well and bring tokenizations, keep Pulsechain up to date with that, with the the wallets here. We know that SwitchX is going to be supporting that. They've already said that's in the design features, but maybe they've got their own products coming out for that. So who's going to be really the first to not only be able to buy and sell stuff using maybe Hyperliquid technology, but actually support their own projects? We'll see what happens there. But we've got 2 players at least that we know are in that category on Pulsechain. Let's see here. So we're going to quickly have a look at some of the lending protocols we're expecting to get up. Obviously, we've got Triple Dad coming with VersaVault. It'll be one of our next 2 liquidity forks, taking us up to 6. So it'll be pretty cool. We have he's getting closer. I don't know. He's probably a bit further away, maybe than possibly Vault 369. We'll see who launches first. But of course, they're going to be this look really, really amazing. What a great job they've done with the site. I mean, it's just, if you're not following VersaVault, give them a follow, and also follow them on Telegram, big time there. But that's coming soon. I mean, look at the website; it looks so dang good. Really good, solid product, stablecoin yield, and 0 interest rate. So obviously, there's I think it's a 0.5% entry fee, but apart from that, for the loan, yeah, and coming cool. They've got some different tokenomics in here too, so you can read all about that. All right. Actually, what did we talk about in here? We had the buffer pool, yeah, so you can read about that in there. All right, let's jump into, so that's one of them, and then the other liquidity fork we got coming up is Fast Abdul and his Vault 369. He's been posting a little bit about that recently. Kind of cool. Let's see what else we got there. So he did, the Vault token's already live. You can actually buy that already, and they're going to be, you'll be able to stake Vaults to earn VUSD. So that's their stablecoin, multi-asset rewards as well, and of course protocol growth there. And these guys are one of our biggest, influencers in the community. So should do pretty well there. You can see that. So those are two liquidity forks that will take us up to 6. Very cool. And then we do know that LibertySwap's been teasing this decentralized stablecoin solution. So I don't know where we're going to head with that. But there's a couple of speculations. People are talking about Aave and Maker and things, all sorts of opportunities there. We'll see where they drop there. And of course, big dry powder today. Presumably they bought that Pulse, and what are they going to do with the Pulse, right? I guess it's the other side of it too. Unless they sold the chart, it's like there's someone else saying, didn't you have your limit orders in there? You pump it and you sell it into yourself a little bit. It's a bit inefficient sometimes, that sort of stuff, but it's always possible. All right, so kind of cool. If you haven't read the Monster thread, make sure you read the Monster thread. Edition 62 was out on the 13th, so it's been out for a couple of days now. If you want to get all that latest news, Richard's Praise, it tells you everything about everything that's happening last week. It is an official publication of the Crypto Night Show. MVS Crypto is the editor-in-chief and promotional lead for the Crypto Night Show, and he works hard on this every week. And you can see also some of the best, not only some of the best activities happening with people in the community, but also some of the best DeFi projects as well. Pretty awesome stuff. So, it's pretty cool. We got people all around the world. Look, see, people all around the world there in the Pulsechain community. And the promo pads are going out everywhere. Pretty awesome. World domination. So more marketing, more gold mode candles, and we're watching this. And Hex narrative. Hex starts, if Hex starts running away a bit, because Hex has already got, I think something like 1/3 of the Ethereum whales have played around with Hex. I think Dipcatcher did some analysis on that, someone like that. And then it starts to get a bit of movement. Charts can start running away from a very low base. Because we see that with many other tokens, that even projects with a very low base, because they've got this brand awareness, if they start getting green candles, can start running away quite severely there. We'll see what happens with the old Hex there. eHex as well. Obviously, he's got separate dynamics with being on the ETH chain and being the Genesis, the OG. Hex could also do some of its own drivers there. So we're watching that too. But yeah, pretty exciting stuff. All right, I think that's it, is it? I think we're up to date. I think that's kind of the main stuff. Obviously, we've got a lot of other things happening on the chain. We've got people developing more wallets. Obviously, we've got Stu with the Web3 ecosystem. If you haven't checked that out, it's pretty awesome. Full Web3 ecosystem suite. So big shout out to Stu. He's still rolling a lot of that stuff out. And so, yeah, we'll keep up to date with all that. So I hope you guys enjoyed the show. We're up to an hour and 38 minutes. I think I'll stop there. Don't forget, if you are loving the content, smash the subscribe button on YouTube. We're streaming on 3 YouTube channels: The Crypto Night Show, Superman Crypto, and Pulsechain X. And if you're watching live on X here, don't forget to smash the follow. I think we've got the lead here as well. There we go, infinite screen. But you can go up the top here somewhere and smash the follow. And importantly, if you haven't reposted the show, smash that repost, guys. Good to see 4 reposts on that already. Let's see if we can get it a bit higher and share the channel around. As you guys know, the largest Pulsechain influencer channel doing daily shows. That's very specific. We're covering it all. So I hope you guys enjoy it and looking forward to that. So a big shout out to PC the Greys. Top 1,000 trending today, sitting at about 850. Can they keep rising to the upside? We shall see. They've got certainly a lot of big whales in there, so we'll see. But certainly tokenomics looking pretty attractive, and a great day in the office today for Prairie Banana. In fact, that's what we're going to do before we go. Let's go check out Prairie Banana and see whether he's been celebrating the glory there. Let's see what he's got. Has he got anything in here? There he is here, if you're wondering who I'm talking about. He's kind of the quant influencer for PTC. Let's have a look at PTC there 5 hours ago, up and away. I don't think he's seen the fact that it's in the top 1,000 trending. 14th there. So I don't see that here. So yeah, he is there though. Let's go have a look one more time because let's see if he's still there. It's still there, guys. Wow, that's cool. It's a free billboard for a PTC the Grays right now. So going well beyond Pulsechain, it's getting free airtime. Isn't that cool? So there we go. It is pretty awesome, and it's in top 1,000 now. Pretty neat there. I don't know why my charts aren't rendering there. Let me know if you guys got any idea why that might not be the case. It renders on another browser than on this one. I don't know why. Anyway, so it's sitting at 812. It's even moved up higher, guys. 812. So kind of cool. We'll keep a lookout. This is pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy. Now, can we? Let me just see here. We got blockchains. This has got similar coins here. Maybe we'll switch on that. What's similar coins? Okay, there's a few randoms there. Related there, dogs, moonbirds. But actually, let's see. I haven't done this for a while. Let me just find the. You do it by blockchain, right? I'm just trying to find the filter. Base ecosystem categories. No, that's not what I want. Customize. I don't know. Maybe we'll do it on another show once I work it out. But yeah, we're going to do it. Trying to find the blockchain. I just thought, I've done it before. I just don't remember where it is. All right. Hey, look, a key thing too today is can we get Bitcoin powering through that 65K range, right? Probably over 67,000, and then we'll get through that sell volume once for all and move even higher from here. So that's kind of a key thing as well moving forward. All right, but big shout out to the Grays there. Wow. Pretty awesome there. Let me just look at view more there. Yeah, pretty awesome stuff happening with the Grays there. What else? What is this chart doing? Let me look. 24 hours. Oh, top losers and top winners, I see. What else has got on here? Kind of cool. We got DAI there at number 315, so that's interesting. DAI on Pulsechain. There's a nice cheat sheet there. So we got DAI on Pulsechain there. That's kind of what I was looking up for. That's because of I guess it's because of the market. I was trying to work out whether they on volume or market cap. But it's probably more important for coin market cap rather than CoinGecko. All right, cool. I think we'll finish there. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. Take care, everybody, and I will catch you guys again tomorrow. Subscribe. See you there. It's all starting happening, man. It's going to be a lot of fun. The bull market's going to be epic. Take care, everybody. Bye for now.